And then there's this exercise, an exercise which my body wants to be in. I don't need to fight angles, positions, and worry about what's comfortable, what's not comfortable. This is just natural. This word natural is something that is like, it's interesting to me. Is it the leverages, the bony structures of my body, the levers that I'm dealing with, and that's why it's comfortable? Or is it the muscular system that's developed throughout my years, habits of walking, running, moving, the habitual things that my body's just ingrained into my skull, and this is what we're going to do and how we're going to move. It's just interesting to me how when I'm doing something that is sending all of the work into the quads, staying upright, doing a hack squat or belt squat, it is difficult. It's difficult because the muscles are underdeveloped, but it's also like a conscious effort to stay within those muscles. It's like a neurological warfare that's happening to make sure that I stay in those movement patterns. And when I do good mornings, it's just so freaking natural, man. Like, it's just automatic. And I love doing this the day after doing the hack squats. It's just so rewarding to just walk in and do something without thinking about it. It's natural. Like, it's almost like I don't even warm up. You just come in, you start moving, and that's that. With squatting motions, especially like hack squats and belt squats, it's almost like, okay, I have to think about sending my knees forward. I have to think about keeping my heels on the ground. I have to think about keeping my knees out. I need to just think about so many different things just to make the thing happen. It's like I'm fighting myself. There's an internal fight going on. And all of this is happening, and I'm trying to use the muscle, get stronger in the muscle. And I just wondered to myself, okay, one day when I get to hack squat of 5 plates, is it going to be natural like it is going to be natural for my good morning? Is it ever going to be that? Or is it always going to be difficult? Because I'm thinking to myself, okay, what if I get to a level where I can do 5 plates on the hack squat machine for a set of 20? That is a very, very good amount of progress. And that is taking the quads which are not very good to quads that are very good. Yesterday's conversations and discussions in the comment sections have really, really helped me out. Some of you boys pulled out napkin maths, quick calculations to work out that whatever the weight you put on a hack squat machine, I think you times it by, was it 1.2 or something like that? Or something like that. I can't remember the equation, but it was basically roughly 70% of the weight that you put on is actually what you're feeling and what you're getting. So if you want a 4-plate squat, barbell squat, you should really be aiming for like a 5-plate hack squat. And so if in my case, if I want a 5-plate barbell squat, I should be aiming for like 6 plates on hack squat, just roughly, rough kind of measurements. But the moral of the story is you need to be doing more weight on the hack squat, which in my mind, I'm like, intuitively speaking, I'm like, okay, this is how I think about it without looking at the math or anything like that. On the barbell squat, you're using everything and anything, all muscles, anterior chain, posterior chain, back, everything's used. The weight is real, right? The weight that you put on the bar, you really feel every kilo of that. In the hack squat machine, the weight is at 45 degrees, so it's 70% of the true weight. But also, you're using half of your body to move that weight. What do I mean by that? Well, you're only using the anterior chain of your body. So the weight's 70%. You're using, let's say, half of the musculature available to you. So it's kind of like, I get what you guys mean by adding another plate on the hack squat to do 1 plate less on the barbell squat. I get that. But in my mind, I'm like, well, the hack squat, you're using less weight to whatever you're putting on, 70%, but you're also not using your hamstrings and glutes. So it's kind of like, it should be even in my mind, in a way. It's hard to kind of compute all that because leverages come into it a lot. And somebody like me who is a longer female lifter, I'm always going to have more advantage in the barbell squat because I'm using what I really can use. And then the hack squat is something that is really, really difficult for me. And I don't really use a lot of quads anyway when in my barbell squat. So how much of that is going to carry over? Some of you guys have said, you carry it over a lot. One of you guys said you didn't squat for like 6 months, and then you go back into it, and all of a sudden you were squatting like 20 kilos more, which is profound, right? That is unbelievable. And I just wonder, like, what sort of individual are you? Are you the squatty type? Are you the quad as a primary mover type? Maybe that's why it worked for you. But then other people have said, oh, I've implemented hack squats, I've improved X amount, and I saw no results as well. So there's differences in transferability. Will it carry over? Will it not carry over? But then most of the comments have been, most of ideas, which probably kind of makes sense to me, is I think it's actually like a slogan for somebody. I think it's Mark Bell. He used to say, a strength is never a weakness, and a weakness is never a strength. So a strength is never a weakness. So if you get stronger in a hack squat, that's a good thing, man. Like, you haven't lost anything. You've added some sort of strength. So if you add size, you've added some sort of size. You're not going to lose anything by getting stronger in the machine. So just get stronger at whatever you want, man. Like, whatever you think is the right thing. Just, if there's progress, there's progress. And I think that's what Louis Simmons talked about as well. Like, he was basically saying, pick stuff, do stuff, see what you're weak at, hammer that weakness, get it to good level, improve it, and then test your stuff again, see where you're at, make another diagnosis, chase another weakness, test a bunch of stuff, and you keep going around and around and around, and you focus on having those little battles, small battle wins, which is going to get you the war, right? That I don't know, I've butchered the saying, but you have small wins along the way, which is going to win you the war. So if I get really good at the hack squat, it might not turn out exactly perfectly how I want it to be, but that's a small win, right? So it's almost like, if you improve this, kneeling hamstring curl machine, if you improve it by a plate or two, that's a win, man. That's a win in the grand scheme of the war. That's a positive. And same thing with the good morning, same thing with all these different things. And especially if you are very, very weak, if there's some sort of a strength standard that we can all agree upon, and you're like, well, if you're squatting this much, you should be doing this exercise for this much. Well, if you find something that it's kind of like subpar to what the community kind of thinks, and what experience and anecdote around the community kind of entails, then you can kind of have those exercises as a focus. And so, like, I'm less stressed about my direction now than I was yesterday, because yesterday I was kind of questioning, are my quads really weak? A 3-plate hack squat might not be that bad. But now I hear from a lot of you guys that, that it's actually not good at all. And there's definitely a couple of plates under what I should be doing. So, now I'm like, cool, no worries. Even if it doesn't work out, that's going to be a mini win in the grand scheme of the war, and that's only going to benefit me. So I'll just keep at it, man. I'll keep adding, this stuff. Keep attacking the good mornings. The reason why I've chosen the good mornings, I've mentioned in another video, is purely because it leaves the upper back out of it. So then I can really get to the rowing and the pull downing without the carryover, without bleeding over the fatigue into RDLs, because RDLs are like very, very tough on the upper back as well. Like your lats are really much engaged. So I'm like, good mornings are freaking amazing, especially the day after hitting the hack. The hack is so freaking like upright, and the good morning is like, oh my God, it's just freaking amazing. It's just exactly how I want to be. And if you think about the good morning, I think everyone on the planet will agree that good morning is a great exercise, and it will carry over to damn near everything. Lots of powerlifters in the game who have, done records in all sorts of sports with the barbell have agreed that good morning is one of the best things you can do. So definitely I'm not going to waste my time with that. So I'll work towards a 4-plate good morning. I'll work towards a 5-plate hack squat, and just keep on churning out and doing some of these accessories around it to kind of get to that level. Because when you get to that, level, then 220 should fall on the squat. And then you can also, have a bit of a discussion in your mind, like what's more valuable? These are the conversations that are maybe not so helpful. What's more valuable, a 4-plate good morning or a 5-plate hack squat? This is where you kind of go, well, it depends how you squat, right? Are you a hingy guy or a squatty guy? If you're a squatty guy, it's probably going to be much more beneficial for you to be doing the hack squat, right? If you're hingy like me, the good morning is going to be your meat and potatoes, man. Like, it really is. It's just, no two ways about it. But if you combine the two, now you're firing on all cylinders, and you're doing some excellent work. And from me right now, I'm not worried about that. I'm just worried about getting both of these things good. Slowly progress these accessories, and then hopefully the main movement is going to start ticking off and going in the right direction as well. And that's kind of exciting. Small wins to win the war. Appreciate you guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.